What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the inaugural episode of what I'm calling the work podcast. I guess the work podcast, I should say, not the work podcast, but the work podcast. I'm hoping this is going to be obviously something very successful, right? As everybody works towards. That's what everybody works towards, something that's very successful. So, a little bit of background on the podcast. It's gonna be pop culture topics, politics, of course. Everybody's talking about politics. This is another one of those shows. Only it's my perspective. Okay, it's the perspective. All right, and so make sure you look out for that. Make sure you're excited for that. The name, the work podcast, is kind of twofold. It's slang, giving people the work, what I'm saying, giving them the 1-2 of the situation. So I like that aspect. But it's also back when you were in school and, particularly in math class, if not only in math class, you'd be told to show how you got to whatever conclusion you got to with whatever arithmetic or problem that you were doing. You had to show the work. So those are the kind of things I'm playing off with the name of the podcast, the work podcast. I'm kind of giving you my 2 cents a bit forcefully, a bit directly. But yeah, so it's that, and then it's also letting you understand how I got to my conclusion. You know what I mean? It's you get to see kind of why and how and the why I got to where I got to and why I think the way I think. So. Okay, I think we understand each other a little bit there. I hope that was clear. I guess, for the 3 people that see this, I'll get the feedback and go from there. But, all right, what I want to jump into first, I got a few topics today. I don't think I'll be doing more than 4 topics per video. I don't think so. I mean, obviously, something might happen where there's some breaking news, and I'm happy to be on, and I'm going on about the breaking news. I've seen it happen in other live streams. Who's to say it's not going to happen here? Especially when I get my millions and millions of viewers. They might be telling me something in the chat. But today we're going to talk about 4 things. Some videos maybe talk about 1 thing. I could see that happen. I could see an entire episode just to 1 topic. But today we're talking about 4 things. And we're going to jump right in. And we're going to talk about the Black Lives Matter protests. I don't know if you can hear from my voice, but I am a high melanated person. I heard people say that. You've heard all the melanin speak before, I'm sure, especially on Twitter, if you're on there. But we're going to talk about that a little bit and just my take on it, where I am with it. And, man, it's been a pretty crazy week with the Black Lives Matter protests and with the events surrounding the Black Lives Matter protests and those who are involved in it. Where do I start? This past weekend. What the hell happened? What happened? Could it have gone off the rails any more than it did this past weekend? Could it have been more of an unmitigated disaster than it is right now at this moment? This past weekend, but it's been a problem. What's been going on with what's making it a problem for me, at least, which I hope is making it a problem for other people, has been going on for, I guess, since Chaz. I mean, even before Chaz, but definitely since Chaz, we've been watching this continuous freaking train wreck. It's been live streamed. It's been on the internet. How is it that Black Lives Matter, this whole movement, which was supposed to edify and supposed to bring into the forefront the value of Black lives, that's been lost, right? Black Lives Matter is supposed to affirm that the Black life means something. How is it that in the midst Not even just in the midst as in it's going on at the same time, but in the midst of the actual protests, where the protests are happening, we are losing all black life. How? What? It boggles the mind, and I really do hope I'm not the only person that's befuddled by this. Let's just go ahead and say it, downright fucking pissed off at this. That's crazy. I mean, that's literally crazy. That's schizophrenia right there. Black Lives Matter, and then at these Black Lives Matter events, you're seeing kids get shot. Did y'all? I mean, y'all saw the news reports. Y'all saw the family in over there in Atlanta. And it's like it started off as justice for George Floyd. Now it's looking like sacrifices for George Floyd. What are we doing getting little girls killed at protests? How have things gone this bad? I'm really confused. And I know I can't be the only one. I mean, we're out here in droves all over the country, all over the world. You've seen them in England, right? They do it in China, but that takes a little bit more than what people are trying to commit. But that's okay. We've seen them in London, all over the Western world. Obviously, we ain't seeing it in the Middle East, another place where people aren't really trying to commit to it. That's fine. That's fine. It's not because that's where slavery is still going on. But that's for another video. But all over the world, people are talking about how Black Lives Matter. They're screaming at white people. Why don't you get it? You want to ignore us this time? You got to pay attention. Here we go. And all in white folks' face, screaming. Trying to get them to pay attention to Black Lives Matter. I think we need to go next door. I think we need to leave Whitey alone. I think we need to go to Blackie. I think we need to talk to dark skin over there. Hey, dark skin, I was gonna go by, Chad's house. I just want to make sure you get it. You know Black Lives Matter, right? Okay, because we've just been having some internal confusion when it comes to that, apparently. And it's so funny because so the thing I was talking about before, and I know all you guys know, but I'm just gonna go into it for a little while. In Atlanta, and it's not the only person. You guys all saw the stories all over America. It's been ridiculous, but I'm talking about this one right here. So in this story, we have I think she was an 8-year-old girl in the car with her mom, and they were going past that Wendy's that Rashard Brooks, I think that was his name. Rashard Brooks was killed at after he had a struggle with the police. Okay. Let's go over the Rashard Brooks incident one more time. Okay. I know you all probably know it, but let's just go through it just so we can have a full understanding. Remember, I'm showing the work here, baby. I'm just showing the work. Police are called to the Wendy's because a man has fallen asleep in the drive-thru. They get there. The guy is still there in the drive-thru, dead up sleeping. Okay. Sir, get out the car. We just need to ask a few questions. Sir, hello. Is he dead? Hello, sir. Oh, okay. He got up. All right. So they had to jog. They had to get this man up. He was out cold in that drive-thru in a car, by the way. All right. He didn't leave out the house. Papa lay down right there in the drive-thru between the Toyota and the Hummer in front of it. No, the man drove from God knows where. Okay, God knows where. Drove to that Wendy's and fell asleep in that drive-thru. The police are called. They come. They assess the situation. They're talking to the guy. Obviously, the man's inebriated. He's inebriated. Okay. We all saw the video. Sir, I'm sorry. You're inebriated. You're a public hazard. We're going to have to take you to jail here. Rashard Brooks fights back. He fights back. For what he's obviously guilty of, he did not want to pay the repercussions. The man was drunk driving, okay, and then he resisted arrest. All right. End up stealing the cop's taser, tries to make a break for it, and the cop does shoot and kill him. Okay. So here we have a case where people start coming out. Rashard Brooks, he didn't need to die. That was wrong. That's what people are saying. That was wrong. Okay, so people are saying that was wrong. All right. Now I'm looking at the situation and I see what happened. And I say to myself, this man lost his life because he chose to make a series of wrong decisions that led him to that death. And that is the reality of the situation. If he didn't drunk drive, he would have never been in that situation. If he didn't resist and try to taser the cops as he was fleeing from arrest because he was drunk driving, he'd still be alive. Those things are true. And those things I feel like were completely just, people didn't care about that. But let's go beyond that. All right. So people say he shouldn't have died. And I agree. He should not have died. I think it was mostly his fault, but I agree it'd be nice if he didn't die. People want to now protest this man's death. And again, I agree he shouldn't have died. But, it just seems a bit that people were not trying to. He had agency in the situation. The cops were not fully. The cops didn't just kill him outright on some cold blood. Let's go kill Rashard Brooks. There was a very clear chain of events that led up to that. And I just think that, we can say, oh, I wish he didn't die, but he had quite a bit to do with what happened there. So we want to be upset about Rashard Brooks, somebody who was a public hazard, mind you, because he was drunk driving, okay? Drunk driving. We've seen plenty of stories where people got hit by a drunk driver. Kids, innocent people, because somebody's inebriated behind the wheel. That is a public hazard. You're a detriment to that community. And people rose up to the point where they burned down that Wendy's, to the point where they put this man on the same level as George Floyd. Now, we could all agree what happened to George Floyd was a tragedy. Those police officers should have been way more attentive to what that man was going through. He should have never died. That was and everybody. I've never seen anybody to say otherwise when it came to George Floyd. It was 100% disgrace, an evil act, born out of whether it was born out of negligence or maybe there was a bit of hate there. It was an evil act that could have been completely avoided if they just had showed a bit more empathy. 100%. What happened to Rashard Brooks was more on him, in my opinion, but people want to go and do what they want to do. That's fine. If we're going to do that for Rashard Brooks, where's the outrage for this little girl here that was killed? If we going to do that for Rashard Brooks, we need to do that for this little girl. Why was she shot at this protest area? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to have this whole thing set up to memorialize this man, this black man, which was according to a lot of folks, was killed unjustifiably, and then you're gonna execute this little girl at this other guy's memorial? I mean, does that stand out to anybody else? Does that make sense? What are we doing here? How are things so off the rails? And again, the person that shot the girl is most likely black. I mean, I don't know if they caught the guy already. They're working on it, I'm sure, if not already. I'm sure this guy doesn't have a lot of friends, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And that's just one story, of course, over the weekend. All over this country, black people killing black people. Chicago, what was it? 67 shootings, like 20-something murders from those 67. 20-something people died from those 67 shootings. And again, children involved. You have in New York I think for the third week in a row, shootings have doubled. St. Louis, I think Minneapolis was another one. And, these things have been going on for a long time. They've been a problem in the black community for a very long time, going on 40 years, if not more. But what just makes it just, I'm not gonna, I can't, I'm not gonna lie. What makes me ashamed, is that we are supposed to be unified in this message of Black Lives Matter, and we're the ones that don't seem to get it. White people out in them streets getting hit by cars for Black Lives Matter. Y'all saw that. They got girls doing trapeze tricks on a goddamn highway for Black Lives Matter. There's blood on the street from white people for Black Lives Matter. Affirming it. Some of them going too far. You see them Antifa fools. They got, there was, I'm pretty sure it was in Minneapolis. One of them was trying to break apart the sidewalk to get some bricks to do some nonsense, and they grabbed his ass up and threw him to the police. Good. Do more of that. We need these things to be on the up and up. We need optics, people. Optics. Keep it optical. That was very optical. Throw these Antifa mother freakers to the darn police whenever they want to act a goddamn fool. That's what's up. But back to my point. We can't be doing this foolishness, man. We cannot be doing this, man. And the whole reason why I'm ashamed for my fellow black people right now is because we're calling out Rayshard Brooks. We are going to the nth degree for Rayshard Brooks. But for these people, for these kids that are being finished off by black people, other black people, come on, man. We need that same energy. We need that same power. It makes no sense to call out in terms of the message of Black Lives Matter. It's not making a lot of sense to just call out when white people, particularly cops, are killing black people, and then we're ignoring what's going on in our neighborhoods. It's not making any sense. Nobody, eventually Whitey is going to back out of that because it just seems like a lost cause. It just seems like an exercise in futility. It matters when black people are killed by police unjustly, and it goddamn sure matters when around the way we're executing kids, when we're shooting up the goddamn neighborhood 60-something plus fucking times with 20 fucking people dying in one fucking city over what, a 36-hour period in one city? Are we fucking crazy? Do we not have any goddamn sense? Is this something? What is it? How are we screaming Black Lives Matter and we're the ones, after we're done screaming it in our own communities, that's where most of the black lives are lost? There's a fundamental disconnect here. And it is very apparent. If I was a white person, I would not go back to another Black Lives Matter gathering. I wouldn't go back. I'm wasting my time. I think it was 2018. In 2018, according to Washington Post, there were nine black people killed by police, unarmed. 9 unarmed black people killed by police. I think it was 2018. You can go look it up. It's on the Washington Post. They have their little statistics, police shooting statistics. I think it was 9 people in America. 9 black people were unarmed and killed by police in 2018. Either 2018 or 2017, maybe even 2019. I think it might have been 2019. You think there was more violence, more death resulting of black on black crime in whatever year that was, compared to that 9? And anybody want to say no? Anybody want to take that bet? 9. Either it was either from 2017 to 2019. One of those years, 2017, 2018, 2019, 9 unarmed black people were killed by police. Now, 9 is too much. Absolutely, I'm with that 1,000%. 9 is too much. And I've never came across anyone who would say otherwise. 9 is too much. 100%. Nobody's denying that. But if 9 is too much, what are we saying about the scores more people that are being killed by inner city violence? What happened to George Floyd was a national disgrace, and it deserved to be called out, and it deserved to be reconciled. Absolutely. As we talk right now, the 4 police officers that were involved in that apprehension and that led to George Floyd's death, they're all being charged with the crime. They're all going to go through the judicial system. And it's, everybody, what I'm saying is everybody is in agreement when it comes to that. They're all being charged. They were all arrested, fired from the police department, with national discourse agreeing on that decision. And these men are facing serious time for the crime that they committed, and they deserve it. When are we gonna get the justice for this little girl and for all the other little kids that was killed? There should be no peace for that. No peace until that's done. I forgot the little slogan that they like to shout: no rest, no peace, more violence, more peace. I don't know. Whatever it is. We need to be chanting that for our kids that are being killed by our neighbors. When I saw those numbers, man, I tell you, bro. You because excuse me. When I saw those numbers, man, you want to be down. You want to join this course. You want to be a part of the community. That's because when you're one voice, when in that synchronicity, it's cool. It's nice. You know what I mean? To be on one accord. But we can't be ignoring stuff like this, man. That stuff is that's out of bounds. White lives matter. Oh, I know. You might want to go tell Tyrone though. He just shot 4 people on Martin Luther King Drive. So go ahead, go tell Tyrone. Disgusting. I don't know. I'm not the only one that thinks that. It's okay. It's okay to call these things out because it's obvious. This is not something that's hidden. This is not something that people aren't seeing. It's all over the goddamn news, especially in these communities. But it's happening. It's all over the news. So maybe that's the start. Just know that people see it and people don't agree with it. But for whatever reason, we just got our priorities a little mixed up. If Rashad Brooks deserved that kind of upheaval, then that little girl did too. And so did all the other people that were unjustly killed. That father that was walking across the street holding his daughter's hand when... I don't know, man. I don't know. But we just need to do a lot better. Moving on. Whew. Moving on. We got Gisene Maxell, whatever her stupid ass name is. She's been arrested, and people are hoping that she's going to be able to spill the beans that Jeffrey Epstein was unfortunately unable to provide. The information he was unable to provide. We're hoping that she can come forward and give us that information that we can go ahead and proceed with justice. And I'm sure the fact that she's in the same custody that Jeffrey Epstein was in when he was untimely let to commit suicide. We're hoping that the same people that now have Gisene Maxwell, they'll be able to stop that from happening. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful. The state doesn't want this coming out. They made it abundantly clear, But people are just so divided right now. We got so many other things going on right now. This might actually happen again. Now, could you imagine if the same fervor we have for, the Black Lives Matter, if we can, because these are our kids here. These people were abusing little girls. And here she is in New York custody where they were able to, by a series of most unfortunate events, they were able to let Jeffrey freaking Epstein commit suicide. Yeah. So, Gisene Maxwell is in custody. Have y'all seen any new pictures of her? I have not seen a single new picture of this broad. How is that possible? How is that possible? There was that one picture like a few months ago where she was sitting at like some kind of burger joint or something like that. I don't know what was going on with that, but supposedly that was a new picture. If they arrested this bitch, why don't we see a mugshot? How comes we don't see no security footage of her walking through the prisons? What's up? That's what I think there's some cheese on the mousetrap. Are we being set up here again? Watch me see her, right? Watch, we're gonna get a picture of her in court being arraigned or whatever. And she gonna remember when Whitey Bulger they arrested him and we was able to see him again. This fool looked totally different, and then all them conspiracy theories. watch, she gonna be freaking looking like Abby from The Last of Us 2 or something like that. Something ridiculous. We're not gonna recognize her. We're not gonna recognize her. And the state's going, that's her. I swear to God, dog. Listen, she dyed her hair. That's why it looks like she's completely different. Yeah, she been working out a little bit. She's in jail. All right. She's inspired by Abby from the last. Okay. But this whole thing looks like it's gonna be another Jeffrey Epstein. But the thing is, if it was going to be another Jeffrey Epstein, why wouldn't they just have killed her when they found her? Why not just do that? Maybe because her ties to these people have ties to governments. There's no doubt about it. They got ties to governments. There's no doubt about it. I've heard Mossad was one. I know her dad heard work from Mossad. There was some article. Let me see if I can find it. There was some hilarious article. Let me see if I can find it. Because I gotta show y'all this. This shit was crazy. It was about Gisene Maxwell's dad, and it helped people to kind of put things together about maybe why she and Epstein were able to do what they were doing for so long, and how they were able to get freaking enormously wealthy. Remember that? This dude had billions of dollars, and nobody knows how he got his money. Okay. All right, let's see here. How you gonna have $1 billion and nobody knows how you got your money, huh? Really? Okay. So, okay. Gisene's father was dark and mysterious. He ended up. No charges were filed against 57. Trying to find this thing here. Even in death from his mystery, when he disappeared from the deck of a yacht, the lady named for his youngest daughter and was anchored. Let me see this right here. After his death, it emerged that Maxwell Communication Corporation owned. Okay. Man. So her dad. Let me go ahead and put this on stream. Her dad. Window capture. Am I doing this right? Up. Yeah. Let's check this out. Gisene Maxwell's dad. Tell me if y'all find anything weird about this. Gisene Maxwell's father was a dark and mysterious figure, just like Jeffrey Epstein. You don't say. All right. No charges have been filed against 57 Maxwell. Epstein has some notable figures. Yeah, we all know that part. Gisene's father, Robert Maxwell, was one of the dark and most mysterious men to appear in British public life. Okay, there he is. Here's the stunning beauty that is this freak's fucking demon dad. They're all demons. Demon. These aren't people. These aren't people. These are demons. These are disgusting, flesh-covered homunculus is what these things are. Anyway, even his death remains a mystery. 1991 disappeared from the deck of the yacht. Lady named for his spawn, his demon spawn. He probably did nasty crap to her too. She probably liked it. Disgusting demon freak. Gross, disgust. And again, here's what I was saying. No new pictures. No new pictures of this bro. This is from 2005. What's up with that? Anyway. These appeared. They were all like all Maxwell's 9 children, Gisene is French by birth. Okay. They were all delivered by the gynecologist sister of Maxwell's wife, Betty, at a maternity house in, okay, it must be nice. His naked body was found floating 15 miles off by the fishermen. Penalties performed a post disputed the cause of death. Nice. Two said he had fallen from the yacht after suffering a heart attack and drowned. Third said his heart condition had not been responsible, that he had fallen and drowned. Concealed as much as he revealed. His whole life, Maxwell concealed as much as he revealed. Outwardly, he played the part of a charismatic businessman, but his performance was always based on an increasingly complicated web of companies with links that only he understood. Okay, so we have fronts to shadow companies, okay? This whole thing reads like a spy novel, mostly because it probably is. These people had deep government ties, all right? The other day they caught they were able to catch what's his name, Hush Puppy, that Nigerian guy that was scaring everybody. All right, they figured out all his little companies, and to this day they don't know they don't know any of this guys. We can't get information on that. I don't know. Maybe I'm dismissing it, but I don't. From what I've read, it's all a mystery. Everything's a mystery. We can't tell you how this guy got his billions either. Nah, we don't know. After his death, it emerged that Maxwell Communications Corporation owed money to 43 banks with a total debt of $4 billion. Okay. Seen through the eyes of forensic accountants, it seemed like the life of a swindler and a consummate con, but the motivation behind it was more self-created fantasy than greed. It first appeared as a small flickering blah, 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 blah. At the beginning of World War II, as a Chez refugee born Ludwig, enlisted in the British Army as private. By the end of the war, he had fought from the Normandy beach all the way to Berlin and risen up the rank of captain. In Berlin, realized that the mother-load of scientific papers produced in Germany during the war never been published in the West while he was still in the British Army. There's a part here that talks about his work in, I don't know if it's here, but where was it? Maxwell. There's a story about him working for the Russians. Father worked for the first stream, guys. So I don't know if this is not proper stream etiquette, but that's okay. Poise for raunchy pictures at the gross. Disgusting. All right, let's see here. Is this the one? She felt it was death off the yacht. $50 million yacht. Damn, that's a nice yacht. He was a man. Where was it? Can't take over right here. Trying to find that part, man. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. You know what? I'm getting annoyed with this. I don't know where it is. All right, I don't remember where it is. It might be this one. I don't have patience to read through all this. Anyway, what I was getting at was the fact of the matter was the fact that let me just get this back here. No, this one. Yes. Okay. What I was getting at was the fact that I read that he had made a lot of money off of working with the Russians. And he was, while working for the Russians, he was selling weapons to Israel. He was organizing troops and staging offenses on behalf of Israel while working for the Russians. And it's like, why is he doing all this stuff just for Israel? His whole career was like just working for Israel on behalf of the Russians. He was a Russian agent. Solely everything he did, according to I forgot where I read it, was just for Israel. And I'm just like, it's just so much like back and forth with these stories. You know what I mean? Oh, he's this guy Jeffrey Epstein was this accomplished businessman, but yeah, we don't know what business he was in. You know, Gisene Maxwell's dad was this Russian agent that did only stuff in Israel. Like, can I get no straight story anywhere? So that's how they like it. And the reason why you haven't seen new pictures of this broad is because she's probably already dead. Probably already, disposed of, thrown off into the wilderness somewhere, buried, burned up, what do you call it, cremated. That's most likely the case. If we do see some body double, and this is a bit of a conspiracy, but look at what's been going on. Look at all we have are conspiracies. The news is gonna tell us, like I was just saying, some freaking schizophrenic nonsense about how he's this and that at the same time. Some what do you call it? Paradox that makes no sense. So whatever. Gisene Maxwell. Hopefully we get some truth though. That'd be nice. That would be nice to get some truth. And the thing is, we've gotten a little bit so far. I'm not really one of these guys anymore that is all conspiracy. I used to be that, and my boys can attest to that. I was one of these guys that was just gung ho for the conspiracy. Oh, it's this person over here that has this deal with this guy over here, and they're making these moves together so that one day they can come out and then bring forth the world government. And I've eased off of that. I do believe that there are players who are game makers, I guess you can say. I do believe there are game makers, and then you have the Nancy Pelosi's, the Trumps. You have these people who are led towards a certain goal, and there's money and power in it, so they just go along with it easily. I do believe that there is a cabal of people, though, I guess you can say, who do kind of, and that's not a crazy or hard to believe concept. Even in the American government, you see the same faces all the time. There's like 20 people who have been in government throughout every administration for like the last 40 years. The country's been going the same way, and these same people have been in the state. Trump came forth to call them the deep state. That's what people the popular nomenclature right now. But we've seen this. We know this. The Clintons are a dynasty. That's an example of one. I'm not saying that they're the ones that are, I guess you could say, the game makers, but the idea of a group of people having disproportionate power. I mean, there are how many billionaires in the world? You know what I mean? They control a disproportionate amount of power. That's all I'm saying. So this is not some crazy far out thing to be like, yeah, there's a group of people that that have you know, maybe a little too much power over the day to day life of me and you. That's something that we've seen and faced for a long time. So I don't consider that too crazy. But I do believe that these people are connected to, you know, either a government or some sort of obviously. I mean, because for Jeffrey Epstein to die the way he died, nobody's gonna think that's on the up and up. And I've never met one person that did, except for the liars on the TV that say what they got to say to get their paycheck. You know, which I would too. Hell, if I was getting Don Lemon money, I don't give a. You think I wouldn't lie to you if I was getting Don Lemon money? I would tell you any damn thing to get that paycheck. I don't give a shit. Don Lemon is lying. He's lying. The Fox News people are lying. That's a fact. They're getting $10 million a year to tell you some bullshit? Oh, please. You know what I do for $10 million a year? I'd write a book to all them crazy resistance people, you know, the ones that go around calling everybody Nazis. I'd write a book saying Donald Trump forced me to suck his dick for $10 million. I don't give a fuck. They get what they want, some anti-Trump porn, whatever. I get $10 million to write some dumb shit. to write the next anti-Trump screed that these freaks just can't wait to buy. Hell yeah, I'd do that. I'd make up all kinds of disgusting, depraved, gross acts that I was coerced into it. Trump's used his Hitler power on, whatever. I don't care. For that money, I'd give those freaks everything, bro. I'd write the perfect fan fiction for them. So it's not like they give a shit about the truth anyway, right? Although, let me take it back. I will give these weirdos props. These freak Trump's and Nazi weirdos. They did call out, what's his name? John Bolton's, not the demon. They did call out John Bolton when he was trying to sell some little corny ass book. They did call him out. And it was like, nah. We're not with this. We had enough Trump porn. We want some reality. we strayed too far. No. We need some reality here. Enough fan fiction. Enough, hearsay. Trump whispered this in my ear in the closet. Nobody else is around. Trust me, though. $40 for this book, please. So I'll give them that. I'll give them that. I was talking all that good stuff. Forgot all about that. I was on Reddit. I was blown away. Everybody in the comments were like, no. No, Bolton. Sorry. The gravy train has left, motherfucker. You got to come with some real stuff, okay? How come he didn't say none of this in front of Congress? Huh? So, big up you Trump freaks. Good stuff. All right, next story. Next story is about China, the current enemy of the United States. It'd be dope. Remember when at the height of the Cold War, Sylvester Stallone came out with Rocky 4? Him versus the Drago. I must beg you. Remember that? That was hot. That was fire. That'd be so dope if right now Stallone came out with some not Apollo. What's his name? Adonis. Gotta fight that shit. That would be fire, bro. That would be fire. But it never get made though because they wouldn't have saw that shit in China. But that would be so dope, bro. I mean, we got a Cold War right now. China's fucking up, poisoning the whole goddamn world. Unleash Corona Chan on us. We're over here coughing and koofing and up and down the damn street. Although things have gotten substantially better. When this was coming out, when the Chinese gases first arrived on our shores, when this was coming out back in December, January, boy, I was shook. I thought this was the real happening. I thought this was it. I thought we were about to go Mad Max freaking post, Escape from New York. I thought that was on the horizon. Bro, I was so scared. I ain't even gonna yo. I was so scared. I was following it with Mr. Medicare, big yourself up, Mr. Medicare, and a few other people. But Mr. Medicare was my one of my favorite sources. Peak Prosperity was another good one. Big yourself up, Peak Prosperity. But I look forward to those Mr. Medicare streams. Man, and things were looking grim, bro. Things were looking grim. But we've gotten a lot better. It seems that either it mutated, and we had a good dice roll, and it mutated in a way that is less lethal now, which is fantastic. Thank God for that. But it's from what I've seen, it's definitely not as bad as when it first came out, and mainly it wasn't as bad too because we have more information now. China was pretty tight-lipped after they went around the whole world buying up all the PPE, and then making little fucking TikTok videos talking about, haha, no more for American. Fuck you. Fuck you. That dirty bitch. I forgot. I'm pretty sure it was a TikTok. I don't know. It was either. I'm sure it's on YouTube now though. China. I guess you could type in like China buys up PPE. It was this woman buying up all this PPE, and then say, "Fuck you, America. Fuck you, dirty bitch." I hope she's getting re-educated right now. I hope she didn't fucking praise what's his name, the one that was starving all them people over there, Mao. I hope she didn't praise Mao correctly. And they and they just snatched her ass up and threw her in the rice fields for 1,000 years. That's what I hope. Corny hoe. Anyway, yeah. So China looks like they're up to the no good, sneaky ways again. The government looks like they got the tendrils in TikTok. Anything that has that's from China in terms of software, you might just want to not fuck with it. I mean, that's been the general rule for like the last 8-10 years. I've recently gotten into PC gaming myself, so I'm getting more hip to it myself. I never downloaded TikTok. One, it was a little cringy. It was fucking cringy as shit. All these 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds doing little corny little dances, and then all the e-thoughts started coming on, and then all the 12-year-old 13 girls started dressing like e-thoughts. Parents, dog, listen. I get it. Your little girl might sneak 1 or 2 videos past you. You can't be there all the time. That you have to give them a little freedom. But for them to have a thriving TikTok page, one step away from the OnlyFans, you're messing up. All right, you're dropping the ball. Okay, you gotta put food on the table and keep the pussy protected. You cannot be having your little 13 whatever on TikTok skinning out for the whole. Come on, man. Dads, listen. This reflects more on you than the mom. Okay. Yes, both of y'all look bad, but dad, you got nothing more to protect. Nothing should have your protection and watchful gaze over more than your little girl, okay? Your little girl and her lady lumps, all right? Her developing lady lumps, because these girls are 13, 12 on TikTok. And for that site to be as popular as it is, and it's a bunch of 12-year-old, 13 girls, man, this, Jesus gonna burn this whole goddamn planet up he is gonna singe us, man. What were they looking at on that site? What were they looking at? The pimple-faced boys talking about they hate themselves because they're white? No. They're looking at these nasty-ass, freaking flat-butt 13-year-old girls, and I'm assuming they have flat butts, not because I was on there lurking. I did not, at any time, have TikTok on my phone, unlike some of my coworkers and friends and family. Okay? And there were plenty ridiculed for that by me. I made sure I did it, all right? I'm doing my part, America, okay? Make sure you're doing yours, all right? So it turns out TikTok, surprise, surprise, is probably doing some bullshit on people's phones. What I saw from my boy, Some Ordinary Gamer, shout out to India. It looks like from his video, which is my most trusted source right now for this information, because I haven't looked at any other sources. His video was talking about how They do all the normal data gathering stuff. Hope y'all didn't hear that one. And in addition to that, they also had a permission to possibly be able to download and open zip files on your phone or on your computer. I don't know. Is TikTok on the computer? I don't know. But on your phone, it could do that, and that was a big deal. So I don't know if they've discovered more stuff since then. But TikTok it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I mean, and again, and he pointed this out too. So big up yourself. He's a very upstanding guy. Don't believe because he's from India, he can't report on this correctly. He did a good job. All if you have a smartphone, your privacy is it's not really there. But TikTok was going that much further. They were taking those further steps past Facebook and Twitter and all that. You know what I mean? So that's all what's going on. But honestly, if you got a smartphone, all every titty pic you took and every titty pic you received, everybody at the goddamn NSA is jacking off to that. They're comparing the titty pics to Melissa. Melissa's better than you, by the way. Your titty pics are trash. Work that shit out. Yeah, that's just the case. Still, as wrong as it is for our government to do it, I definitely don't want the Chinese government in my, personally, I don't want them in my stuff. I don't want the state, America in my stuff either, but I damn sure don't want China. Now, it may come out that they're working together a little bit, but that's later on in the line. But anyway, don't trust software from China. You can hardly trust gosh darn hardware from there, and everything's made over there. All right? Stop. Don't download any apps that's from a Chinese company. Listen, let me just give you a crash course on how things work in China. It's a communist dictatorship, so the state controls everything. All right, don't let these little dumb fake ass commies over here at Starbucks on their iPads talking about their vacation home in the Hamptons fool you. All right, the people ain't controlling shit. One man controls it over there. All right, Xi Jinping, and he says this, that, and the third. Him. All right, you say, oh no, I kind of feel like eating today. All right, throw this nigga in the fucking rice fields for 1,000 years. That's how it goes over there. All right, that's how it goes. Okay, if you want to do business in China, Xi Jinping gets a piece of that. Okay, he gets a piece of that. All right, and that piece might grow depending on how he chooses to change up the deal when he chooses to change up the deal. And if you don't like it, oh hey, listen, kind of build this up from the ground up. Start off with just me and the computer. On my computer at home, so now I got a few 100,000 employees. I really like to keep on to it. I don't want to sell you the business. All right, no problem. All right, you're dead. Your son's gonna sign over the business to Xi Jinping. All right, that's how it works over there. Okay, so if you start a company and you go over to China, they're gonna steal your IP because obviously they're gonna say, hey, you need a headquarters here in China, and you're probably gonna want to put one in there anyway. You're gonna need the headquarters here. They're taking everything. They're taking everything. All right. If a company starts in China, they are corrupted. Yes, the Chinese government is collecting data through that company. If an American company goes over to China, maybe not the day one, but eventually the tendrils of China will sneak into that. There you go. Don't download TikTok, erase it off your phone. Whatever new little funny little 12-year-olds app comes out next, don't download it, okay? Leave it alone. Because it's probably Chinese propaganda spyware anyway, in addition to just being disgusting and creepy and stupid. There you go. You're welcome. All right. Lastly, Kanye. Our boy Kanye talking about he gonna run for president. Go ahead. Sure. Listen, people gotta remember, all right, we are supposed to elect politicians that make our lives better. I don't give a damn if you're not a part of if you don't have previous experience with politics. That doesn't by itself disqualify you, okay? What matters is your policies, your positions, what I can tell that you plan to do by your past actions and what you say that you plan to do. Obviously, what you say has a little less has a little less power than what you did in the past. Okay. I just want things to get better for America. I you know these days it's actually better if you're a fresh face. It's actually better. But I'm not voting for anybody because this guy has so much experience. People were I remember when Hillary and Trump were coming up in 2016. People were out there saying, "Oh yeah, Hillary all the way." I mean, sorry, I'm burping all over the place. Hillary all the way. She's the only one with experience. Donald Trump don't have no experience, so I don't want to vote for him. Hillary's the one with the experience. All right, cool. What was that experience in? Oh, that's right, fucking up the country. That's right, starting some stupid ass war, letting these motherfuckers over in Benghazi get murked up. Cool. So we want more of that. I think I'm good. All experience by itself is you gotta have the right experience. What was the mentality? Oh, she got all that bullshit out the last couple times she was in office. She ain't gonna do it again. Not likely. Okay. So I don't. The argument of he doesn't have experience, it falls flat because all the people that had experience have been just messing up the country for like the last 40 years, like I said. So there you go. But if he, so I mean, obviously, I don't have the most faith off the bat that he can do it. But this is a man that's brought himself up from nothing. You know what I mean? This is somebody that knows. He has good instincts. I'll say that about him. He obviously has good business sense. You know what I mean? He may be a little rough around the edges when it comes to communicating certain things, but who else do we know that does a pretty damn good job with running a country that's a little rough around the edge when it comes to communicating for some people? That pisses me off to no end. It fucking drives me fucking crazy to no end to hear people like, hey, you gonna vote for Trump? Oh no, I'm not gonna vote for Trump. No. Okay, all right, cool. That's no problem. Well, why? What's causing you to think he's not? He won't do a good job in continuing his presidency. Oh man, he fucking Twitter, dude. What? I'm sorry. Oh yeah, the way he talks on Twitter, I can't stand it. It's I can't stand it. I don't like it. Oh, sorry. Is that it? Is that your entire fucking reasoning? Is that all that comes into your mind when it comes to running a goddamn country? How somebody talks on fucking Twitter? Do you have anything more in there rattling around in your fucking big ass head? Anything else? No, that's all you got. That shit. What? How is he running the country? Is the country better off from his leadership or less so? Who gives a shit if he goes on Twitter with dick pics? I would not give a iota of a fuck if this nigga was spamming Trump dick pics on Twitter. If he was trademarking them with the Trump logo, I would not give a fuck. If he was saying fuck you to what's his name, Putin, all right. If he was talking about how he fucked Putin's bitch, that I would care about. Honestly, I would care about that a little bit more. But the stuff inconsequential, if he's making fun of Pelosi on Twitter, don't care. If he's calling Rosie O'Donnell fat and ugly, don't care. All right? How is he running the country? Is the country better off or less so? What are the fruits of his policies? How are the jobs? How is the economy? Is the middle class in America better off or less so? How is our foreign policy? Are we getting into more stupid ass wars and I don't know all that. I don't like the way he tweets. The news says the tweeting is what I should give a shit about. The TV told me they didn't say anything about all that policy stuff. What does that even mean, policy? I just know that I'm not supposed to like his Twitter. Well, then you should go kill yourself. If that's the extent of your political understanding, if that's the whole reason why you want to why we shouldn't continue is you just don't like his Twitter. If it's as arbitrary as that, if that's it, as an adult, if you're an adult male, especially, and the extent of your criticism of Donald Trump is I don't like his tweets, it's disappointing. I'm gonna scale it back and I'm gonna say I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed because you're a functioning adult male, right? Right? You should have just a bit more than that. I know, yeah, the TV makes it a little easy for you to join in on the fuck Trump. That's cool. That's cool. But this is actually the future of our country we're talking about. All right? That matters a bit more. But that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. You can criticize his foreign policy. Hey, we're still in the wars. You know, sure, there is he has made some moves, and but in the latest thing we saw that they're trying to put barriers in between. He's just trying to bring back 4,000 troops. Last night, I think that 4,000 troops, and there are Democrats and Republicans, of course, who are trying to put roadblocks in the bringing back of troops. Oh, you can only bring back 4,000 troops at a time, or whatever it is. And if you want to bring back more, you have to prove to us that bringing back more won't. It was with the whole Russian bounties thing, which was definitely something thought up and fed to the media by the Democrats, no question. Democrats and the never Trumpers, Republicans, the rhinos, no question. No question. This thing appears out of nowhere. The media just jumps all over it. It's fuck Trump, so there you go. The media jumps all over it. Trump, what's going on with this thing here? Have we, it just so happens that this thing that just broke, that the story that just broke, it just so happens that we have a drafted piece of legislation for it. Look at that. And it's saying, fuck what the American people want. We're not going to scale down. We're going to keep our presence in the Middle East. We're going to make it bigger as soon as we can, honestly. It's just so... That story just kind of broke my heart, man. Because it's like, dog, we're voting, but nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. The media happily, regurgitates whatever nonsense is made up by some by some staffer that they had drop some fan fiction about Russian bounties, which is what it is. It's foolishness. And then they just happen to have a piece of legislation ready to go, talking about how they're never ever gonna end what's going on in Afghanistan. They're gonna keep going forever. But yeah, back to Kanye. Don't count him out. Kanye's a capable person. Whether that capability can move towards presidency, I think definitely the process of becoming president, and especially if you're not the establishment crony, I think that that process will definitely try him and show us the forged product. Yeah. So I'll give him a shot. I'll hear him out. I'll give him a fair shot. What are your policies, proposals? What's your vision for the country? Sure. Let me hear it. Don't call my boy Kanye out, dog. Come on. Hear my dude out, dog. Hear my dude out. All right. Anyway, that is gonna do it for the first episode. I gotta go ahead and do some coding. So I'm gonna end it there. I hope it was a good first episode. I hope it was entertaining. I know things kind of picked up as I kind of went on there. Let me know what you think. I hope to get my format a bit better. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do a camera. We'll see. My lighting isn't great. also got some pots and pans all over the place. So I got to clean up a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I know that's like the popular thing is to have the camera on you or whatever. I also need to get a haircut, so trying to look cute for you guys. But that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope it was entertaining. Let me know your feedback. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, don't be afraid to show your work. Peace.